Hey guys, I'm back with another DIY to share with you today. I'm calling this my Dollar Tree Apothecary Jars, but some of the items were not from the Dollar Tree, but the majority of the items were. However, I will say that the other items that were not from the Dollar Tree were about the same price, if not actually cheaper than $1. So I felt like it really could just be roped in and called Dollar Tree because I used a lot of Dollar Tree items for these. If you're a new subscriber and you're just now watching this video, I am in the process of building my Halloween decor. I have decided that for once I'm going to pick one theme and one theme only, and that is a witches theme. So that's why I'm adding these apothecary jars to my decor collection. So these apothecary jars, I would say, is a very beginner level. I used whatever I actually had on hand. I didn't want to go out and purchase additional items just for this project. I was hoping that of all the things that I had hauled from the Dollar Tree and that I already had previously in my Halloween decor box, that I would find things to use for these jars that I had purchased. And these jars I actually purchased so cheap at Hobby Lobby when they were like 90% clearance. One of the jars was like 50 cents and some of the jars were like $1, $1.40. I know there's a lot of different things that you can actually do and add to make these jars look really old world and witchy and crafty, but again, I just wanted to go very beginner level and just kind of get this done because Halloween is approaching us and I am ready to go ahead and put my Halloween decor out. It's already October 12th and I haven't put anything out because I'm waiting to show you my Halloween collection, and that video is going to be next. So I'm going to do my Halloween collection and then I am going to put all my stuff out and then start doing my front porch decorating, which I will also share with you guys in a tutorial because I've had a couple of you request that I show you how I'm going to put my front porch decor together. So comment below what you would do with your jars and all the other little things that maybe you would have added, and next year I will definitely be keeping that in mind and just build and build for my jars. I'm hoping that one day I can have an old cabinet filled with these apothecary jars. That is the look I really want eventually, but like I say in all of my other videos, you just have to build your decor slowly at a time or else it gets too expensive and it gets a little bit overwhelming, and that's why I've been trying to do all of my crafts on a very, very low budget, and especially by using the Dollar Tree as much as I can. So if you want to see how I put the apothecary jars together using Dollar Tree items, then keep watching and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my Halloween collection. Bye! So the first you're going to need are a bunch of jars, and they can be in various different shapes and sizes. These that you see here I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and again they were on clearance, like 90% off. This one as well from Hobby Lobby, and just trying to get as many different shapes as I possibly can. This one's cute because it kind of looks like a little witch's cauldron. This is just a plain black square, 50 cents. And this jar I loved so much that I actually didn't do anything to it. Sometimes, you know, less is more, and sometimes you kind of need a couple of jars that are just plain so that it doesn't get too overwhelming. This one, the purple one, was actually from my collection last year and I purchased it at Hobby Lobby. This one I purchased at Ross for $2.99. Another thing I love to do is not only make my own crafts, but I also like to buy crafts as well, just because it makes it look a lot more prettier and expensive. This one as well was from Ross for $3.99. And they had a ton more, but that was all that I purchased. So you need a hot glue gun and some scissors, and I used twine and some Mod Podge, a little sponge, some glitter, and a bag of Spanish moss. Some embellishments, which are these creepy little black rats, some skeletons. This is a garland from the Dollar Tree. This is also a bag from the Dollar Tree, and just a bunch of little random creatures in here, but I only use the spiders out of this. And these are like tattoos that I hauled from the Dollar Tree. They're just Halloween transfers, and I only used one from that set. So as you can see here, I'm actually going to start using, actually I used two. So this is the first Halloween transfer that I used from the Dollar Tree. and I'm cutting it out, and it's the same concept as a fake tattoo. So you peel the plastic wrap and then you stick it on where you want it, and then you just take a damp cloth and dampen all over the transfer, and then once it's pretty damp, you just peel it back and reveal the sticker. What's cool about these is that you can actually remove it if you want your jar to go back to the way it was. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to keep this jar the way it is just because I added glitter here, but as you can see, the transfer came out pretty nicely. But you can just take some rubbing alcohol and remove the transfer that way. So I put that square jar away in the meantime, letting the transfer dry, and I'm moving on to this next purple jar, and I've decided that I want to add some twine to the top of the jar. And that's another thing, if you're going to decorate a bunch of jars, have a couple of embellishments that you add to all of the jars just to keep it cohesive. And in this case, I use this twine in a couple of jars. So all I'm doing is wrapping it around, and then I use a hot glue gun to secure it at the very end so that it doesn't unravel. Then I'm going to cut the excess off. And what I'm doing here is just kind of taking a couple of the embellishments I have and eyeballing and seeing what I actually want to do with the jar. And that's how I normally figure out what I'm going to do. I just kind of put things up against it, and if I like the way it looks, I go with it, and if I don't, I try something else. So in this purple jar case, I actually liked this skeleton a lot better than the plastic skeleton. So I simply just cut him from the garland and wrapped him around the twine, and I love how it blended in perfectly. And just securing the end so that it doesn't unravel, and then I'm going to cut it and it will look so cute. If I have time, I probably will go back to either the Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby and get a couple more of these little jars and do a couple more of these skeletons because I loved this jar so much. Here's my next jar. I didn't want to do too much with this one either. I incorporated the Spanish moss and again the twine. So I'm just taking some Spanish moss and putting it inside the jar. And of course, in this case, you can actually fill your jar up with like water and liquids and put like creepy crawlies in it. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do anything with liquid for this year, but I probably will in the following years when I start to really get maybe to an intermediate or an expert level of apothecary jars. But again, this year I'm just kind of keeping it simple. So I'm not adding any creepy crawlies to the inside, and as you can see, I'm keeping the line cohesive by adding some twine. Same concept, I'm using hot glue to secure the ends, and I would suggest double wrapping it. As you see here, I went all the way down and then I go all the way back up because it gives it an extra thickness and it looks really cool that way. And this is it for this jar. This next jar is the second jar that I actually used a Halloween transfer for. It was kind of hard using those Halloween transfers because they're really square and my jars were not square. So I couldn't use them on all of them, but I will be keeping these Halloween transfers for next year and again applying them to my apothecary jars then. So right now I'm just trimming so that it can somewhat fit this octagon shaped jar. And same steps, I peeled the backing, I applied it to the jar and dampened the transfer, and now I'm peeling it very slowly so that I don't take away the transfer with me. And I love this one, this elixir transfer so much. I actually have a matching napkins from the Dollar Tree. And again, I am keeping it cohesive once more with twine at the top. And twine really kind of gives it that old world witchy kind of feel for me. I know there are a lot of free printables online that you can find for apothecary jars, so find the printables and labels that you like and keep your line really cohesive because it will look a lot better. I just didn't do any printables this year, but again, I know from now on I will be making these jars every single year and adding to my collection. So this one's done. And here's that one jar that I loved so much that I didn't want to do anything to it. Now I'm back to the square jar, and I've decided that I want to add some glitter. So I'm going to slap on some Mod Podge to the areas where I want glitter. And I actually didn't do this on the back. I just did the front and I added glitter, and then I decided I wanted to do the sides as well. So immediately after you've applied the Mod Podge, you can take your choice of glitter color and sprinkle it on top. And I'm using this purple, and I actually used this purple for my Witches Broom tutorial. I will link that video down below. But that's another way to keep your decor cohesive, is by using the same glitters and embellishments throughout all of your stuff. So I decided the front again wasn't enough, so I'm doing the sides. My witch's theme is black and purple. Once you add the glitter, immediately you can just kind of tap your jar against the counter and let the excess glitter fall. And again, applying it to the side. And then you'll want to set it aside and let it dry for a couple hours. So I've finished it. Now I'm going to set it aside to dry. This jar will be empty. I won't put anything in it. Here's my next jar. It was just a plain black one, and I decided to pull some of this creepy cloth that I purchased from the Dollar Tree and kind of like Mod Podge it to the actual jar to make it look like the creepy net came with the jar. So I'm just adding Mod Podge all over the place. And if you do this trick, it will be messy. Your hands are going to get sticky, but there's no really way around it. You need to apply the Mod Podge and work the fabric mesh thing with your fingers. This was a little bit difficult to work with just because it was kind of falling apart. I don't know if it was because it's cheap from the Dollar Tree or if the Mod Podge was just kind of pulling, the glue was pulling the strings apart. But as you can see here, I'm cutting some excess off. It looks a little crazy now, but then you want to apply Mod Podge to the top. Like I'm doing here, I will do this all over the bottle just to kind of secure anything else that's not really sticking. And then I decided I wanted to actually do another round of purple glitter, and I only wanted to do the front, so I added an extra layer of Mod Podge, like a fresh new coat, because it dries kind of quickly. And then as you can see, I'm sprinkling the purple glitter again. And I should have done the entire jar all the way around, but I was running out of that glitter. And I need to go purchase some more because it is honestly my favorite glitter I have ever used. I'm doing the same thing with this round little bubble cauldron here. I'm just applying the creepy cloth to it, and that's all I'm doing to it. I'm not adding anything else, although I wished I would have used black glitter for this. I think that would have looked really cool. But I ran out of black glitter and realized I still had some more, but I didn't find it until after I'd done this. But I may go back and just reapply some Mod Podge and drop some glitter on it. So I'm going to let that dry, and here's the finished look. And here's the purple jar, which looks so gorgeous. Again, I wish I would have done the entire thing. Here is the dry square jar. I don't need to do the back because it's going to be displayed front, so no one's going to see the back. Now I'm showing you some embellishments that I'm actually going to use for some of these jars. I have some of those creepy crawly spiders and those little rats, and that's me picking up that purpley jar and realizing I didn't want to do anything to it. So I have these little test tubes, which I also hauled from the Dollar Tree, and they came in black, orange, and purple, but I just wanted to do the black and purple. And I put them inside the jar, and now I'm eyeballing if I want a little rat on top, and I did. So I'm hot gluing to the rat, and then I'm going to hot glue to the rim of the jar. I think that's so cute. Now I'm going to add the 2 spiders to this jar, and I'm simply going to just apply a little dot of hot glue and press the spider on top of it. Now I'm going to do the second one. And that's my daughter. And I'm all done. I think for a beginner, I'm pretty proud of myself, and I can't wait to honestly see what I'm going to do next year. So here are all my jars together. I really hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. I hope that you can see that even at a beginner level, you can really do some really cute crafts. If you guys have any suggestions on what kind of jars I should do next year, please comment below. And I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow for my Halloween decor collection. Bye!